So, welcome to episode 2 of your Lady Lender podcast. I am back. I'm your host, Alyssa Lopes, and I am here with my friend Reena Gleason with Remax. Go ahead.
Hello.
So, it's a funny story with Reena because obviously we're in the same industry, but my cousin Jill had reached out and was like, have you guys met? You guys have to chat. You've known my cousin Jill since
I was a child.
Isn't that
first communion
so funny?
Ages. She's a dear friend of my mom's.
And then she just bought her house with you, correct?
She did last year. Yes.
Nice.
Yes, Jill's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I figured when we met, I said, she's related to Jill. She's going to be good people, right? And so here we are.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So you're a realtor.
I am. I'm a realtor with Remax Advantage in Warwick. I became a realtor 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. A little later in life, but where I was at, I knew that I was done with it, and it just wasn't for me anymore. And I always loved real estate and design, and with my mom in mortgages, my dad was in building. It was just kind of always a part of our life. So
yeah, absolutely.
I thought, well, this is a time. So I left my other job, and I took a year to kind of research and, take my classes and do all that. And then, like with everything, and I'm not really a dip your toe in the water kind of person.
Right.
I'm all in, really.
It's the best way to be.
Going at it. So I jumped in and, here we are 5 years later. So
that's so awesome. And apart from this, you also do Airbnbs, investment properties.
I do. While being a realtor, I had a client that was moving away, and before they sold their home here, they wanted to make sure they loved where they were relocating. So I had said to them, I'm a big traveler, and I knew a lot about Airbnb. So I said, well, let's try Airbnb in your property. They live near a local casino, and so I loved it. I loved hosting it. I loved everything about it. They did end up selling their house, so obviously that went away. And then a couple years later, when I was ready to start investing myself, I thought, why not get into short-term rentals? Because it also incorporated a lot of other things that I'm passionate about,
right?
Like design and, just hosting and giving people an experience.
Right.
Is really what Airbnb is about. It's less about just like putting your head down at the end of your night on a trip. Especially now it's developed into that. So I love it. I have one that's up and running, and then another one right now that I am in the I'm in the middle of gutting,
right,
and remodeling. So it's a smaller house by the beach, but it's a perfect first time.
You just bought that, correct?
Yeah.
That cute little house. It's so cute, that little cottage.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited, and then when that one's done and up and running, I'll move on to the next one. A different theme. Each one is kind of geared towards different people. Different experiences that people are looking for. So
that's the best part I feel like about Airbnb is the experience that people have in it. It's so different from a hotel where it's, you have every room has the exact same design, and that's just where you go to sleep and whatever. And then with Airbnbs, you can kind of travel all over the country, and
absolutely
every house is fit to every different vibe and things like that, which is always nice.
And I feel like people have a lot of preconceived notion where, when you're traveling and you need an Airbnb, well, if you don't live in Narragansett or Newport in Rhode Island, why would you want an Airbnb? The reality is last year I had an extremely high occupancy number, and it's the biggest town in Rhode Island, but it's not that big of a town, tourist attraction. So, but I was busy, and, it was people visiting their family, coming back home for weddings, funerals, people visiting colleges, and people coming to visit their children at the colleges. So that one was really geared towards families.
Right.
So I do, like around the holidays, I get people that, might be coming to visit for a week, but they don't want to bring their children and their pets into their parents' home.
Right.
And they just want some time to themselves. Yeah,
like their own space. Absolutely.
Which I totally get. So, and I try to include, like in that home, everything that someone would need that's traveling with a child that they don't want to have to travel
Right.
with, like high chairs,
Oh, that's so
bowls,
great.
a car seat. And then it has a huge yard with a koi pond, so there's tons of indoor and outdoor games, just stuff to keep the kids busy while the
Right.
family's there. And people have really loved that.
Listen, as a
So,
mom, that's so key. That's great that you do
right? I
that.
thought that, just from my friends that have children with traveling, and whether even if you're driving, there's
Right.
only so much room in the car. So
Absolutely.
I have a Graco, so you don't have to worry about
Oh,
any of
that's
that.
so great. I remember like when both of my kids were younger, and everywhere we went, we'd have to bring like a pack and play, and I'm like, this is
Yes.
terrible. If you go to a hotel, you have to have a pack and play, and if you go on a plane, you need to have all these things. I'm like, this is nuts, because we travel with a ton of things with kids,
Of course, you can
or
keep them
with
busy.
animals too. Dogs, cats, whatever.
I got books, coloring, all Rhode Island, like
That's
themed, all
awesome.
Rhode Island books,
Right.
just stuff like that.
That's great.
So
And you love the
love it.
interior design piece
That's
of it,
my
right?
favorite.
We went to
I
that.
love
I did
that.
that open house with you a few weeks ago, and
Yes,
everybody was
yes.
stopping like, "Oh, they have really great taste." You're like, "Yeah, they do." That was me.
I
That
staged
was me.
that
You
property.
did.
I do, and I'm very versatile. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily stage for or design an Airbnb for what I'd have in my own home.
Right.
That's what I love about it. I can think outside of my box and do, just totally different styles.
Right.
Like the one I'm doing now is, the seaside cottage. It's not something I'd have in my home all the time, all white and but it's my favorite part. And then before I'm even done one, I'm already thinking of what I'm doing for the next one,
Right.
picking up things as I go. So I love it.
Do
I
you
love
have like an end game? Like, is there a set amount of properties that you've thought about? Like, I want to have X, Y, and Z by the end of all this.
So the main idea of this whole thing for me was my retirement.
Right.
So if I ever decide I can actually retire or want to completely retire, then I could not only cash in on my investment properties themselves, but with the short-term rental community that I've gotten involved in, and I'm sure by then it'll be even larger of a community, I can actually sell the homes and the business together.
Oh, that's great.
With all the years of numbers and, people coming back, and it's very profitable. So hopefully it'll still be like
Yeah.
that then. And if not, then we'll sell the property.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I don't think Airbnb is going anywhere
no,
anytime
it's just
soon.
really getting started.
It is.
So,
It's wild. And it's a great way to invest and get that return on your investment so quickly, because, you can buy a multifamily unit, multifamily property, and then you have, tenants and things like that.
And
but
then you have places to go visit too, and you have an excuse.
Exactly,
So I have to go
exactly.
check on this property like once I get out of state,
Right.
because I would like, Florida, New Hampshire, Tennessee. That'll be my excuses to
Yeah,
jet
absolutely.
away.
Go travel. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Check on them.
And that's the best part about being a realtor too. You can kind of work wherever you need to, which is
Right.
always great.
right. I
Yeah,
love that. So
that's awesome. You had mentioned earlier about a consulting business that you're thinking of starting up.
yeah. So during this time, people have reached out to me. Obviously, as Airbnb is growing and knowing that I'm involved in it to find out more information, get involved, but everybody has, their own story. Some people want to get involved a little bit. Some people really want to do the whole thing themselves.
Right.
Maybe they're retired because it's not, this is a full-time job when you host a property, really.
Right.
It is. Unless you hire a company that does, and it's not even so much property management, it's hosting
Right,
along with
absolutely.
that. But some people want just design. Some people want, you to get all their welcome books and stuff together because they're not into, graphic design.
Right.
So there's all different levels and packages of how I can help you get your Airbnb started. And this is just beyond if you bought it with me. You don't have to buy the property with me,
Right.
but if you
Just
want to
sharing the
learn what you're
knowledge.
doing from beginning, and also, not make the same mistakes I did that cost money in the beginning.
Right.
If someone that had been through it had told me, I just want to help people.
I love that. I love the
Them-
idea of just kind of like spreading the
Yes.
knowledge. Like, listen, this
Yeah.
is what we're doing. There's plenty of room here for everybody to do it. And
Plenty. So
it's always nice to have somebody too to go, help guide you,
absolutely.
which is really great.
I mean, I've been lucky to find people online that have been doing this, since before I had, and then met them at conferences also, and I've learned a lot from those people. So this is my way of kind of bringing this back locally, but not that it has to be local, but just spreading it around here so other women can get started and build their own wealth, take over the world.
Take over the world. Yeah. So. Your first property that you said you got in Narragansett, was that,
that was in Warwick.
Oh, excuse me, Warwick.
Yeah, both.
Was your intention to, do this as an Airbnb, or were you just going to buy it thinking about?
It was. Part of it also, and the reason I selected, that town was because I live there. Right. So I thought this way, I knew I would be there a lot in the beginning, even setting it up, checking on things. I hadn't hired a handyman or any of that. I was just getting started. So it was a convenience, but also my parents live out of state.
Right.
And so when they came in, I wanted them to have somewhere that they could go that was close, but that they also had their own space. They could have a family visit, even if we weren't there, and I thought, well, how can I do this? Maybe rent it out. At first I thought 2 traveling nurses for months at a time. And then I said, you know what? No, I'm going to do the Airbnb and we'll see how it goes. And I wasn't really sure too, who's going to rent an Airbnb in Warwick. I looked at the numbers online from various sites. When you go to buy a property, you can see what Airbnbs in that area get for a like house. But I jumped in and it just booked up so quickly.
That's so
It was
great.
Incredible, and that was it.
What year was that you purchased that property?
2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you've had that property for a while.
On it, yeah. No, I'm sorry, 2021. I closed on
like,
it.
Wow,
No.
okay.
I closed on it last year in January.
Okay.
And then the one that I'm working on right now, not flipping at all, but the one that I'm renovating, I closed on 3 weeks ago.
That's so awesome.
So I'm going to just go hard into it, and then it'd probably be open at the end of the summer.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that'll be great. Do you already have plans for your next property too?
Yes.
Where do you want to buy?
So I've been looking at like mills and condos, properties like that, and what I really want to do is do a very feminine, very adult woman type place where if somebody was coming to Providence for a bachelorette party.
Oh, I love that.
Or, a 30th birthday, or just women getting away to travel or for a conference, this is where they'd want to go, you know what I mean? And so there'll be everything that you could really want. I want to do like a room that's where you just all get ready together with all the vanities and for adult women too. So I've seen them in other places, and I've talked to women that have done them, different areas of the country, and I just think, just get some people out there staying at the property, shoot it, give them a free stay, and then really market it correctly, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, really, and I feel like Instagram worthy.
Yes, yes. And so like local content creators, I'll have them come stay and for free and just photograph the whole time. And
it's so smart. I feel like social media, it's so funny, like growing up, maybe we did or didn't have social media at that point in time, but like who would have thought that it got to the point where it did right now, where, you can sell something just by utilizing your Instagram or even 100%. TikTok, which like I'm an avid TikTok watcher. I'm awful at them.
It's like a black hole.
It's so bad. Like 45 minutes go by and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still scrolling. I could be doing the dishes right now.
Because they learn what you like. So like when I get on mine, it's like plants, houses, design, like, and it's everything you love after a while. And it's like, I can't stop.
And it's so funny, myself. Like I'll send them to like my husband or even just to myself so I remember what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And even like last night we just made a recipe that we had found off of TikTok.
Yeah.
Or even just getting ideas for your own social media posts or whatever the case may be. It's wild how much social media really does have an impact on what we do with our daily lives, but also as, women in the sales industry or anybody in the sales industry, how much of an impact it has on our careers.
I feel like the educational part of it is huge. You know what I mean? It's nice to see pretty pictures. It's nice everyone sold a house. We get it. We're realtors, but I feel like at some point you have to be providing your viewer or your follower with information that might not be even that important right now, but will be in their future.
Absolutely.
Something that makes them want to keep coming back. You know how it is with an algorithm, you can be gone very quickly.
Right.
So I think marketing has been a huge thing for me since I've started in real estate.
Right.
I'm very thankful for it. I'm thankful I had learned a little bit in college about it and was able to kind of jump in. To me, it's like a little bit like design too.
Right.
So I just
do you create all your own content on like your Instagram? Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So it is.
It's like a second job.
It really is. And you know, it'll be nice with some of those little jobs like content creation for real estate, or even with my Airbnbs when you can hand that to someone else, and hire someone else to take care of it. But until you're at that point, it's very hard. It's like handing over my babies to somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, like this is what generates my business.
Right.
And, you know, so I'm sure that time will come. Not yet, though.
I know. It's hard to release something that you, especially if you do enjoy it. It is kind of fun. It's definitely tough to find different things to market on your social media. But once then you spend like hours doing it and you have 4 likes and you're like, I'm just going to keep resharing this.
Yes, but you just keep going because it starts like that. And, you know, you can't really, you know, people focus so much on likes. And I can't tell you over the years how much business I've gotten from real estate, whether it's from people I know that they know that followed me or people I've never met before. And I can probably assure you that most of them probably never took the time to actually like the photo,
but they certainly read the content that was in it.
And they remembered it. And they remembered, even if somebody else was selling that was looking for somebody, I've had people say, well, my friend follows you. And they said, why don't I call you?
Yeah.
And so can't stop it.
I know. Yeah, you're right. I feel you do. We get wrapped up on this whole, like, I only have X amount of likes, but how many people really did just read that post and they didn't think to hit the little heart?
So. And I do it all the time. I'm awful with forgetting to do likes, which is probably bad for my algorithm also, but there's stuff I see of people's, I love it. Right. And I can't wait to see them and tell them about it. And I don't even think, oh, I probably should have liked it.
Right,
and I never do.
Just to give them their like little
just
kudos.
Not even realizing it, but yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. So. It's social media is wild. It really is.
It is.
I don't think you could have told me like 10 years ago that I would be like on Instagram as much as I am. No. And not even just because I'm like posting pictures of my kids. I'm like constantly just going through or in
making
other reels.
Connections.
Yes.
Just like, you know, people used to say a couple of years ago when people still say it, but, you know, slide into someone DMs. And that always sounded just straight creepy to me so anyway. But really, when you can make a connection there.
That's how we did, wasn't it? Didn't I?
Yes,
yeah, one of us DM'd the other one on Instagram. Because that's something that you're checking all the time. And if you don't have somebody's phone number right in front of you, the best thing to do is, you know, slide into their DMs.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, want to grab coffee?
Yes, because I got to do it when I think about it, too.
Exactly.
With everyone, there's thousands of things going on. So, you know, that's almost like a reminder when I see someone that I've wanted to reach out to on Instagram. I do it right then because if I wait till the next day, it might be 3 months. So
right, exactly. You know. I know calendar fills up real quick. Everything else takes over. Your phone's constantly ringing.
I know.
Emails come through, especially in this market. You just got to get right on it.
You can't get away from it. You can't. It's so hard. You know how it is as a lender, just trying to find that balance.
Right.
Even without children.
Absolutely.
It's hard, and I feel like, you know, sometimes that's like my thing. Well, I don't have kids, so I don't have to make the time for this or that if I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
Right.
But in the last year, I've started to realize that's not really true.
No,
time passes so quick.
Absolutely.
That
I feel like that's what that misconception comes into play in you know, that work-life balance is that.
Sorry.
Nope, that's okay. I feel like that's where that misconception comes into play when it comes to like your work-life balance, especially as women. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I have 2 children. Right. You don't have 2 children, but that doesn't make your life any less chaotic, if you will, than mine is, because you have other things going on.
I agree, but at the same time, I'm always like, hail to everyone that has children, because especially when you're successful, because I'm sure if it had happened to me, I would have found a way to make it happen.
Right.
But to me, people are like superheroes, so.
It's tough. We were just talking about that earlier, a colleague and I, how, because I do this. And then, I obviously have my podcast, I work. I'm on the PTO for my daughter's school.
Ooh,
and every day I get up, I you make breakfast, you get them ready, you go off to work. And I come to work, I work my full day. I leave here, I go cook dinner.
You always have to be on.
Right,
when they're little like that.
To be always. Yeah, mine are they're little. They're 3 and my oldest will be 10 this weekend. So they're still super dependent on me. So they need me to do everything for them.
Of course, right?
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't wait when they're older and they can just do these things. And I'm like, no, I like them this age. They still depend. They still need me and actually want me. So
I know.
But but like I said, yes, I have kids and work-life balance is crazy, but that doesn't put any, disjustice to everything else that everybody else is doing because we've all got things going on. I mean, you're running properties, you know what I mean?
I appreciate hearing people say that, because sometimes I feel the other way too. Like I don't have nearly as much going on as this one because they have children, but, I always find a way to fill up my day way more than it should be.
Right.
So I guess it's probably good I don't have to worry about that too. I mean, I have my nieces and nephews and I love them to death. But I get to return them.
That's the best part.
You
feed them with a bunch of sugar.
Spoil them with love.
Right.
Return them.
Give them all the sugar, and you're like, here you go. You can have them right back.
Yeah.
Good luck getting them to sleep later.
Of course.
My running joke is that, so I have 2 older brothers. So my oldest brother doesn't have any kids, but my middle brother has 3. And my oldest brother likes to taunt us. So he gives our kids the loudest toys.
Yeah.
At one point he gave my oldest a drum set. She was probably 5 or 6. I wanted to throw that drum set out the window so many times.
Of course.
And I would text him and I'm like, please stop doing this. And he's like, no, this is great.
It's so funny.
Because I don't have to listen to it. Right. But she'll tell me all about it. I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I find a little enjoyment in stuff like that too. But
it's the best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. So with all of this, you are also on the Women's Council of Realtors of Rhode Island.
I am, yes. I am the first vice president.
Okay.
For our local network, being that Rhode Island is a smaller state. Mm-hmm. We have one network, and it wasn't always that way. Years ago, there used to be 2.
Okay.
In fact, they had just dissolved into one right when I got into real estate and joined. Mm-hmm. So I joined about 4 years ago. And obviously during COVID, there were just a lot of changes, and with there being no in-person networking and meetings and kind of fizzled away. So a friend of mine, Ashley Almeida, who was also in the Women's Council, had reached out to me last summer, and she said, I know you did the social media before, but I'd really love to get you involved. And she was becoming president. And, I said, all right. And like I said, with everything, it's all in.
Right.
So I jumped in and then I took that position, and we found some other great people. And so we're really just building it back up right now.
Right.
There is about 35 members. There are 16 right now, I believe, strategic partners.
I'm
and
one of those.
Yes, you are. Alyssa is one. And we really are just now going to start getting things together and, having meetings that include everybody and networking events. Mm-hmm. But mainly what the Women's Council is, it's a network of local realtors who are looking to take on leadership positions in the real estate world, networking, looking to gain referrals, and not necessarily with strategic partners within your network, but throughout the network in the whole country.
Right.
Women's Council is a nationally recognized nonprofit organization by the National Association of Realtors. Mm-hmm. So as I was telling you earlier, I just got back from our mid-year conference in DC, and it was my first one. It was incredible.
Really?
And just the camaraderie and everyone's just willing to share, and people that reached out to us, especially people from Massachusetts, but from other areas that knew that we were just kind of trying to build it back up again, and they understand really what goes into all of that.
Right.
And so we, that was very helpful to get all that support.
Right.
and momentum from other networks that are, have been around forever. Some states have 25, 30 networks because they're so
wow.
big.
They're so large, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great organization. Like I said, we do a lot of fundraising. So our networking it is to network, but we're always fundraising for something in the local community. We're going to be doing a back to school fundraiser, and so we're going to do a kickoff event in midsummer.
Okay, nice.
So we're going to collect backpacks, everything that kids could need for school,
right?
And then we're going to collect for a couple months at offices, and then we're going to do almost like a store at some schools where the kids come through. That's and great. They pick their pencils. And Rebecca Correa, someone else on the executive board, she did this last year with her brokerage.
Oh yeah, Realty One did that. Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it this year, and we're hoping it's even, we can help even more kids, and
right.
And so we'll start establishing things that we do yearly.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Collaborating. We're going to be doing the rooftop, Realtors on the Rooftop.
Oh, yep. I just signed up for that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the G-Pop. They have a great space over there, so
yes,
that's nice.
Especially anything on the rooftop in the
right.
summer or by the water. Always works.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, just trying to, create relationships. It's actually a wonderful organization if you're new in real estate. That's when I got involved in it. I looked up some information online and decided to join. And when you're starting and you're looking to make those connections, be it with lenders or closing attorneys, just so that or your client asks for a referral, but you might not have someone that necessarily does that. So you can go to people that have been in the business, are successful, do business the right way.
Right.
And learn a little bit quicker, get involved, take on different roles.
Right.
So.
I think it's so crucial too in our, in our business to just be a part of something.
Of course.
Because of that.
Absolutely.
Because, maybe you can't help them for whatever reason. Maybe they're not looking to buy a house, but they're looking to help their, parents get ready to get into a nursing home.
Yeah.
People are a part of that, and there's always that referral network, which is so crucial.
It's huge.
Because even then, down the line, okay, great. They, you just referred them to somebody else. Well, now they're going to come back to you when it's getting time to buy a house, or they know somebody that buys a house or is buying a house. Excuse me.
Yes.
I do think.
I don't know. When you start in this business, sometimes you get in with some pretty big, for Rhode Island, brokerages.
Right.
And if you're an introvert or, you're just not used to putting yourself out there, sometimes, especially with COVID in the last couple of years, people can feel a little bit lost.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when you come into the Women's Council, it's like some people that have been in the industry for a little while take your hand and kind of like walk you and push you through to get out to things, to meet, to network, to meet people and just get involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has sprung a lot of people forward much quicker than normally. Shannon Buss, she was the president of our network. She has been the president of Rhode Island Association of Realtors. She's still involved in our network, and her story actually is one that really made me want to get involved, just because she would have never thought she would be where she is now. Right. In her first, second, third year. So it's also going to help me learn how to be a public speaker better.
It's it's tough. I could talk all day long, and then I feel like you stand up in front of a group of people, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You do know what you're talking about, but I
just blank.
You blank.
And so I think, in the classes, CE classes, whether online from maybe another network across the country or wherever, you can take all these classes and also save some money on them.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's a great positive. Positive piece to it. Yeah,
and there's so many benefits that we're trying to get people to understand beyond that, like just membership benefits as far as stores, traveling, going to Disney, things that people do in their everyday life, buy school supplies. There's tons of discounts that you get as a Women's Council member that, you can save thousands. I just started taking advantage of them last year. And
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, why not? right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited that I joined. I think it's going to be a really great asset to what I do, and just to kind of be around a really amazing group of women. I'm super excited for your event at the rooftop. That'll be really fun.
That'll be fun. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, we would love to do something with your group, Ladies Lead, too, because we do a few events a year.
Yep.
We actually are required to do so many events a year where we collaborate with another either nonprofit, so like we are with Greater Providence and YPN for the rooftop.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we always love to do anything that's about women.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, men are able to get involved as members or strategic partners, but I think that a lot of women join because there's a little bit of that safety,
absolutely,
especially in this business. Everyone learns differently, and so sometimes you know, a woman might be a better fit for you when you're learning.
Yeah, we have that like motherly feature with or without children. I feel like we kind of just gravitate towards like helping people.
I went to an all-girls high school.
Yeah,
you know, so I've always been like, I'm definitely not a feminist, but I'm definitely all about, you know, supporting any other woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Girl power. Yeah. Like, let's run the world. I say it all the time. I'm like, I obviously am a mom of 2 girls, so I'm always like, no, we can be anything you want to be. Yeah. You just need to surround yourself with the right people. Yes. And I'm like, well, all those people are going to be women. Like, come on, let's go. Girl power.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So. Nice. Yes. Yeah, so we'll have to set something up. We can do something with Ladies Lead, which will be really fun.
That would be really great.
Yeah.
I love the idea.
Awesome.
So, like I said, whether you're seasoned realtor or a newer realtor, would love to get more people involved from Rhode Island. So you can reach out anytime to us. Check out our Instagram page. It's WCR of Rhode Island is the account name, and you can click the link in the bio, set up an appointment to meet with somebody, whether you're a strategic partner or a member, hear more about it. And you don't even necessarily have to be a member to check out the events. Right. So maybe check out some events. And
see what it's all about first.
Yeah, we'd love to expand this network.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I think this has been awesome. I'm so glad. I'm loving the fit, the red outfit. I love this.
Thank you. I love yours.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Almost
twins.
I know, almost. Maybe next time.
I know, right?
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.